Hey, it's producer Rob. We've got Jeff and we've got Bart over here.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much.
Yes.
If you're listening to us right now, that means you're not seeing us, but you can see us if you want to. Just go to Jeep Beach Official on YouTube, and you'll be able to find out everything that we've done in the past, most of them anyway.
That's a scary thought.
Videos. Yeah. And if you are watching this and you want the audio portion of it, all your favorite podcast platforms will cover that.
Yes.
So, ready for the show?
Ready.
You ready?
Yes,
We're ready.
Thanks for tuning in. Here we go.
It's now time for another episode of the Off-Road Toolbox. A Jeepers guide to everything off-road. Powered by Best Price Trailers.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back.
What's happening?
Oh, fun times, man. Fun times.
And we are into some good stuff right now.
Yes.
Yeah, we're kind of taking a little trip back in history, I guess you could call it.
Yes.
I mean, here, since we've started this, for the 100 episodes that we've done, it's usually been about the TJ, the JK, the JKU, JL, JT.
Yes.
But now we're going to go back. Bart got me thinking, here we started back in World War with the Jeeps.
When they first came out.
And here we go. Now we're going to kind of go from World War and kind of work our way up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the different stuff that was out there. So the one that we're going to do in this episode was the CJ5 versus the CJ7.
Yes.
What's the difference, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And not many people know. So
I know what I thought was interesting.
what's that?
The CJ4. They
What?
made one. They made one.
Oh, they made one.
They made one.
Like
and-
one.
Yes, the prototype.
Okay.
Uno Duno.
Yes, and then one of the guys who worked at the factory got it. I wonder where that is today.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool, though. I mean, I would
It
like to know
is.
what it
Google
looks-
that.
Well, there's no picture of it. There's no.
There's nothing?
I couldn't find anything.
Even you Google CJ4, nothing comes up?
I didn't. I guess I gotta maybe use
Go to
DuckDuckGo
Wikipedia,
or
maybe
somebody else.
Wikipedia. Maybe Wikipedia might have something.
It's
on
just
there, but
interesting. It's just because it went to the CJ2A and then the 3A, and then they go right to the 5, which is where we're talking about, which is still kind of cool.
It was 1950, correct?
55.
55.
Started the CJ5 started in 55.
But CJ4.
CJ4 was right around 1950. Yes.
Okay.
And it was sold to an employee.
No kidding.
I wonder if they still have it. I just think that's cool, though. I mean,
It's
imagine
gotta be-
having the only one.
But then again, we're so bad at throwing things away.
That's yes.
So did it survive?
And did he keep it in the garage, or did he just drive it and then, especially up in the where there's salt on the roads?
Well, you'd kind of hope that perhaps
It was the only one?
Where's headquarters at in Toledo?
Yeah, Toledo.
Yes.
So maybe they have it there somewhere on display, perhaps.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Well, was the original factory in Toledo? Is that what?
That I don't know.
Oh, I don't think so.
Because it was Kaiser, wasn't it Kaiser back then? Or I don't.
Well, yeah,
it
Kaiser bought Willys in 53.
So
yeah.
before that, yep.
And
it
then
was the Willys. So it was
CJ5s went 29 years.
Isn't that incredible? Wow. Yes, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's just
And that's what makes the history of the Jeep so strong is it survived and it's lasted so long.
yes,
It's just kept reinventing itself.
yes,
Instead of like some of the other car brands, they come up with their model and then a year or two later it's gone.
or like the Bronco. Bronco had a good run in the beginning, and then
Yep.
and then they
went
brought
away,
it back,
and then it just came back.
But imagine the continuation. I mean, Jeep has been continuous since 1940.
buddy of mine had a Jeep Levi edition where
Yeah.
the seats were
Yes.
actually Levi
Yeah.
jeans.
Levi
Yeah.
jeans.
Now that would be that was awesome, man. That was really a cool little CJ5.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the thing is that they came out with all kinds of neat concepts.
Yes.
And they didn't do it as a concept. They actually made it into the Jeep.
Right.
To get people involved and to get them to like it and go, hey, this is pretty damn cool.
Well, you move fast forward to the JKs, and they did the was it Laura Croft
Yes.
Tomb
Yep.
Raider?
Tomb Raider.
And they did an actual edition
Yes.
that was based on that
was a
movie.
limited edition. That's
Yeah.
like only 1,000 of those were made.
There are some for sale still.
And they're called Sahara Rubicon. It's a Sahara. It's a limited edition. They're numbered.
the bouginess of the Sahara,
Rubicon.
the ruggedness of the Rubicon.
And then they did the Call of Duty.
The Call of Duty, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then based on the
game.
yeah.
The game.
I mean, it's
They have done some things that are actually kind of neat,
Yes.
when it comes
Very
to
nice.
the
Well,
models. Jeep Beach.
Jeep Beach.
We got our own.
Yeah.
500 of them,
and
right?
yeah. And how many?
Of the Gladiators and of the JLs. JLs? Is Is that
Yeah,
what
the
new ones are?
JLs and JTs.
JTs,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So anyways, old Jeeps are pretty cool.
Yes. The only problem, like, because I had 2 CJ7s. I didn't have a CJ5, but in the tool of the day, I have a great story about CJ5.
What did you do now?
I gotta wait. We gotta wait.
okay.
We gotta wait.
All right.
It was momentous.
Now, the thing about the CJ5 and 7, they're almost identical.
Yes, except for some of the minute changes in the footwell and the cab and the cabin.
And the doors.
The butt breaker.
Yeah, but the butt breaker. What's the butt breaker?
The CJ5 had the butt breaker, and CJ7 had the square one.
Yes.
So getting in and out.
Getting in and out, that
didn't
was it.
So they used to call it something else, but on the radio show we can't say
Can't
the
say,
A
okay,
breaker.
okay.
We'll say the B breaker.
You can tell a CJ7 because of the wider door.
Wider door.
It's bottom, whereas the other
Yes.
one's kind of slants.
And so when you go to in and out, you have to go over that little hump.
If you look at the newer Jeeps, the back door looks similar to what the
Yes.
front
Exactly.
door
Yes.
of the
Five.
CJ5s were.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to make me think about that one. I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, if you look at the back door, because it's a
That-
little narrower to get in.
Oh,
Not
without a
quite,
doubt.
but still
Yes.
that same shape.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not made for a full size guy.
I could not. Matter of fact, a buddy of mine who had that CJ5, he was short enough to where he can just get in.
Yep.
I couldn't drive it, and my knees would be hitting. You couldn't go back far enough.
Yeah.
For me, unless obviously you could get the seat extenders. I believe.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could have had
yeah,
that. They
that's what I
didn't
was
have it
thinking
in
about.
this. Yeah, they didn't have that.
There wasn't much room in the back.
No.
Oh, there was none. to
So
begin
the
with.
7 had more room.
Yes, a little bit bigger tub.
It's kind of like
Yes.
the difference between a TJ and a LJ.
Yes.
It had that
yes.
little bit of extra
Yeah.
space.
Yes.
You're not going to go off-roading on a CJ5. Barely with a CJ7, but the CJ5's
Oh,
narrow wheelbase.
My
though, right?
7 I took everywhere.
The 7, yes, but the
The
5.
The 5.
That's difficult because that's a narrow wheelbase. If you're going to do anything,
You got to remember they did the Rubicon Trail in it though. They did the Rubicon Trail and actually the 2A.
Okay.
And then ever since then they've been doing the Rubicon Trail. You're right, very narrow wheelbase.
Yeah.
And they had a tendency, especially if you lifted them because of their center,
Oh,
you
yeah.
change the
That's
center of
where-
gravity.
that's where that
yeah,
whole-
yep.
Yes, the whole thing came out. And actually, I knew a guy that kept rolling his.
Kept rolling in. Just,
God, yeah, yeah.
he kept. How do you keep? I figured maybe after one time
He
you
would-
don't do it
no,
again
no,
if
boom.
you even have one.
Oh no, he had it lifted. He had a boogie board stand and a hot dog stand. His family, another prestigious family, and great
look,
guy.
We had another bougie story.
No, no,
here
no.
from,
There we go.
Great.
Did he have a place over at the lake?
The
Did he have a lake?
Oh,
A lake in Ocala Forest?
they had-
Did
no,
he have
no.
that? Yes.
They had jets.
They had jets.
They,
Oh
it's
man, that's
disgusting.
even more bougie.
And then when the kids went to school, because their family had this big food service, whatever delivered food, so the truck would pull up and offload like ribeye steaks and all the food, and it was crazy. So this one kid, he was a great kid, great guy.
Oh, bet.
No, and so he befriended a bunch of policemen because he got in mischief, not trouble, just mischief.
Rich boy stuff.
And so he would turtle a Jeep and put it right on its side. And then I would, my Jeep, pull him back up and I'd have to drive or get somebody else to drive for him. And, but the family was just a good family. And again, he was just the nut. And it was super stupid stuff.
Well,
and
we
he
all
was
did
only, he's only
stupid
doing like
stuff.
10 or 15 miles an hour, but he tried to make too sharp of a
And it was a
turn.
CJ5.
It was a CJ5.
And they didn't have automatic transmission, did it?
No,
No,
they
they
didn't
were
have
all
that till the
standards.
7. Till the 7. CJ7
So
was the first.
CJ5s did not have
Nope.
automatic
No.
transmission.
And he had a V8 in it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
he
was
was-
it standard that was with it, or did he put that in?
I want to say, knowing him and his family, it was a custom build.
It was custom built.
Custom
okay.
build.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you get a
the
jet,
whole
I guess
thing
you
was
could.
just the whole thing was. And again, just a great family. But it was like all the time. I'm like, dude, flip it back over. Let's go. We put a toe strap on it. We would go.
How many different engines for the CJ5?
There were 5.
There were 5.
5?
It started with the Buick, wasn't it? Wasn't one of the ones the Buick?
7 had 5.
Yep.
The 5 had 4-cylinder. I'm trying to think.
They had a 4-cylinder, a Buick Dauntless,
Yes.
225 V6.
Yep.
Then they got the V8 starting in 72.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at some of the notes here.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and how about that Iron Duke?
Duke.
Iron Duke.
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 That was GM's Iron Duke, the i4, the
Yep.
CJ5s, but it didn't really do much.
Nope.
No,
Great name, not a good motor.
Yes.
Their motors were, for the time, they were okay.
Remember we did the show on all their different motors
Yep.
because they were just experimenting with trying to get
Yeah,
different
they were
motors.
trying different motors,
Yep.
trying to get a little bit more horsepower out of it, a little bit more torque. They were
Yes.
wanting more torque, I think
Yes.
it was.
So
And they didn't have back then. The earlier ones didn't have the Dana 44s and everything.
No.
They were Dana 30s or less, and some of them were
Dana
really,
25.
Yes.
Dana 25.
Yeah.
Toothpick.
Yes.
How does that get anywhere? I mean, that had
It
to be-
did.
they had-
Well, if you kept it stock, the problem is when you started.
started putting bigger tires on there and
Yes.
giving it more.
But
yeah.
back then they didn't have
do all that
what
stuff.
we have now.
Not
Right.
now, but they did a little bit.
They did a little bit. They
yeah.
had agricultural tires
Yes,
that they
yes.
didn't throw on it, or tractor tires. But
Yep.
still, most of the consumer stuff, unless you highly modified it, you were
Yes.
stock.
Yes.
No kidding.
You could get a little bit wider tire, but that was about it. There weren't aftermarket rims and all
No,
that.
not like it is today.
I didn't know that they went from 55 to 1983.
Yes.
Yes,
From
the
making a
long
CJ5.
run.
Yes.
That's why there's still, you can find CJ5s
Oh yeah, you
all
can
over.
still find them.
Yeah, those
the
you'll find all
The
over.
problem with finding the new with them is they're rotting out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
bit
That
by
was
little
always
bit.
the issue. Was like the window frame of it.
Yeah.
We're notorious for
because
just
it would
rot.
trap water
Yes,
in
it
it.
trapped
and
the
didn't
water.
have any weep holes in it.
Yep.
So
okay.
but they are out there and they're highly sought after.
There's a shop here in Daytona Beach that specializes in the CJs.
Well, you mean the toy box?
Toy box
Yes.
is closed.
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
is he
they
closed now?
basically closed now.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
He had a great collection.
I was getting older.
Yeah,
getting up in
Yes.
age, yeah.
He did my little brother's CJ.
When I first moved here, I would go there
Yes.
all the time and just drool. I drive
Yes.
by the street, and I'd drive by,
Yes.
and there's so many lined up. They would have
yes.
people from the north. They would come down. They would ship
Yes.
it down. They'd have it done. It would take them months
Yeah.
to redo it and get it done the way they wanted to, and then they would ship it back up again.
My little brother did a frame off CJ
Wow.
with him
Wow.
and motor, everything. And it took him 6 months.
Yeah, it would take time. It does take time to do
But
those.
they did a hell of a, and to this day, he still has it.
Yeah.
And that's been
Toy Box did great work.
20 years now.
I would go there and just talk to him. I would
Yeah.
show up and just walk around. And here I am. I just moved to Florida, and he's looking. He's like, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I'm just kind of looking. Is it all right if I look?" And he laughed, and he goes, "Okay." And I said, "I have a TJ I bought," and I'm walking around, and I remember, I'll never forget him coming out and saying, "You really want one of these, don't you?" And I said, "Oh man, if I could,
Oh, my
yeah, I
God.
would."
Now, if we just could have got Smokey Unick, he had a Jeep, but he wasn't into Jeeps.
Right.
Smokey Unick was the famous engine designer, race car
Right.
driver, and all around just a great guy. And imagine if he could have built a Jeep,
Oh, man.
because his
That-
he was way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's the whole thing is these engineers, I mean, like him,
Yes,
thought outside the box.
all the time.
These
with
guys,
everything.
I mean, Jeep and all them had to think inside the box because, well,
Yeah.
not everybody as crazy as we were.
No.
My father-in-law, I call him father-in-law, girlfriend's father. I'm
Right.
not married to her, but anyway, he has got a 19. I think it's an 82, and it was a toy box Jeep. But it wasn't. It was a toy box Jeep that there was different
Different levels you
different
could go
levels
through.
you could
Yes.
go through,
Yes.
and it didn't have the motor wasn't redone. He has since had the motor put in and done that, but it's yellow. It's a yellow. You can't miss it. And when he's driving around, he'll take it out on the weekends and drive around. It's really nice. He bought that from someone in St. Augustine a few years ago. I got him kind of hooked into the Jeep thing. Jeep Beach got him going.
Yeah.
This is when they moved here a few years ago.
Right.
And he ended up going out and buying one. He's like, I want to get one of these. I want to get a CJ. I really want to get one.
And the CJs are pretty cool. I mean,
He doesn't have a top, no doors, keeps it in the
Nope.
garage.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
washes that thing and treats it. It's the baby.
It's his baby.
Oh, you're not kidding.
That's his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, there's no better ride. I mean, I can't ride a motorcycle anymore with all my injuries, but the Jeep is the next best thing.
Absolutely. Doors
And-
off,
yes,
top down.
yes.
What's
Jeep
gonna
here,
happen?
don't
If you
care.
if you want, you can actually put the windshield down.
If you wanted to,
If you want to get some bugs in your face,
Yep.
go for it.
No, but
You
it's
know?
just, yeah. And actually, I don't appreciate motorcycle riding like I used to.
No, because
just-
it's,
I hurt too much. That's just it.
well, not only that,
And then,
people don't,
yes,
yeah, you know where
Yes.
I'm going with that.
people are different. And actually, I was on a police motorcycle, so it was even,
You were a motorcycle cop?
I was a motorcycle.
I didn't know you were a motorcycle cop. I knew you were a cop. You were a bike cop?
I was on motors. I was on
Did you
horses. I was on boats.
Did you horses? You had to wear the chaps and all
Oh, the
that.
britches, boots
britches?
boots and britches. Oh yeah,
Bloomers.
To this day, I see that and I go, man, do they really have to wear those?
it's tradition. It's a tradition.
It's tradition. Okay,
It's a tradition.
All right.
You'll see if you see somebody wearing straight legs and regular boots, they're not a motorman.
Oh, really?
Oh no, you're looked down.
Oh, no kidding.
It is the cool guys, and it's the Bates boots were the good boots.
Yeah.
Versus the Harley boots was the Bates boots. Yeah.
20 minutes to get in one,
Yes.
30 minutes to get it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You had to have.
Hopefully you had somebody there to help,
help
you.
you.
If not, you're on
Yes.
your own, buddy.
Yes.
So now we go back to the CJ7. There was 5 different engines
Yes.
Yes.
that they had there. Okay, I'm looking at some of the stuff now. They had a V8, but they got rid of that.
The 304.
The
Yeah.
304.
304 with a 3-speed.
Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of interesting because when you'd get on it, it'd go,
Yes.
but you'd have to get down into second quick,
Yes. Yes.
wind that out,
Yep.
and then shift into third, and then you could cruise a little bit.
So at one time on Daytona Beach Police Department, we must have had 10 to 12 guys that had Jeeps. You know, everybody had Jeeps, and they had all types of Jeeps. You
Well,
know,
that's because the beach was here and it wasn't.
they're all the
It was
time.
wide open back then.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was wide open.
Just get on,
And
drive,
they would go for rides like forever.
Yeah, there was ways. There was times. You know, they used to do that. I would try to do that when I first moved here in the inlet, Matanzas Inlet area,
Yeah.
just north
Yes.
of that. You
Yep.
used to be
Oh,
able
yes,
to go
you could do-
forever.
Yes, I've done
They
that.
don't. You can't do that now. Now they tell you you got to get off. You can only get on. You can only go north certain ways. And
So-
at least that they changed it around.
So back in 1980 when I came down here, 80 and 81, I was on the job till I retired. But so when I came on then, I could literally get on our beach here with my Jeep and drive all the way up to Flagler. And then I'd have to get off to go around Matanzas Inlet. I could get back on
Right.
and drive from here to Jacksonville on the beach.
You know, we're residents of. We're all residents of Volusia County, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So now we can
October.
all go on. Well,
October.
well, it is October.
It would be,
It's
yeah.
October
Yeah.
now. So yeah, I mean, now we can get on for free. Register and you can just drive on when it's open.
And I used to be able to do that 24 hours a day.
Well, you were a cop.
No, anybody could.
Oh,
you could
okay.
anybody
Yeah, there
could.
was no gates or
Dude,
nothing.
You could drive 24
You could have
hours
fires
on
on the beach.
You could have
Yep.
fires on
well,
the
you
beach.
still can, but you got pull permit and all
Permit,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Yes.
They just try to
And
make
they
it
put the
hard.
little ring out there for you.
Yeah,
I can tell you, many a romantic night.
It's hard to do.
Many.
Yeah, it's kind of be hard to do that. I pull a permit.
Yeah.
Get the ring put on. I'm sure there's some of there waiting and watching with a fire. You know, I don't know. It's not real romantic when you got fire engine guy over here.
Yeah.
With the,
Or so imagine this: young single policeman in a Jeep, spring break.
Oh,
Just
Bart was here tour.
it was bad.
oh boy, we should do
I'm
that.
saying, can I ride in your Jeep? And the next thing you know, oh
Oh
geez,
boy,
let's keep
man.
on going.
come on,
Jeep
keep it
I know.
PG, keep it PG.
It was just
It
funny.
was.
It's just that was
Okay. All right, so let's see. We're going to go over some of this Jeep CJ5 and 7.
Yes.
The wheelbase. It was
Wheelbase.
about almost 10 inches.
10
difference.
inches difference between the 5 and the 7, which was, like we said, the 7 was a little bit stretched like an LJ.
Yeah.
Right.
Compared to the 5. So
And it was wider too.
yes, it was, and that was to help set with the stability
Yes.
because that was the 5, like we talked, easy to roll over.
Longer wheel, yeah.
7 was still, you could roll it over.
Yep.
If you yanked it too hard or too quick,
Yes.
but that was the reason for trying to extend that wideness. And then
Correct.
look at our TJs now; it's even wider. So,
Yes.
And some of the doors I see on CJ5s, they made them where they were doorless.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
kind that the father-in-law's got a doorless one.
Yep.
It doesn't even have hinges.
No.
no, it took it after the military.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's all right.
They kind of made things a little better in the CJ7s with that.
Yes, they did.
The hinges and all that, they kind of made it more stout
Yes.
back then. I mean, they improved.
Yes.
They kind of stepped up everything, including some of the suspension stuff.
Yes.
You know.
And the Dana, they changed the rear end and the front end and some of the axles. They're still skinny by today's standards.
But they went up in a diameter size.
Yes.
On the 30s and
Yes.
so on.
And they offered the transmission. They offered the
Automatic came out.
Automatic and
CJ7s.
CJ7.
Get bigger audience. That's when the audience really started to grow, right?
Yeah.
At that
Yes.
point.
Well, so if you look on our Facebook page, I put on some of those vintage commercials.
Oh, those are great.
And
Those really are
those
great.
are cool.
Yeah.
And that's actually, it ties right into
I
this.
used to run those. I could probably find those. I've got a few. If we can get some more of those, I'll run those on Jeep Beach Radio
Just
every
the
once in a
audio?
while. Just the audio.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. For you.
All right, cool.
It was-
'Cause I had a few, but I looked for more. I couldn't find too many of
It
them.
was neat. I mean, actually, Jeep was always been
Always
just a classic vehicle.
yeah, kind of like the TA, the Trans Am.
Yes. Yes.
Jeep and Trans Am are kind of, this is
Yes.
not totally the best thing, but hey, it's
Yeah,
cool.
I know.
Right?
So the transmissions you had, CJ5 was manual or
Yes.
automatic,
Yep.
but the automatic didn't last because there was very few of them done.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it was not.
So if you find an automatic
CJ
CJ7, that's like a
Holy Grail.
No, 5.
A 5.
Oh,
CJ5.
oh, they didn't make them in 5.
I didn't.
They did.
did?
They did for.
Were they custom
it was
order?
It was an option.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Now that is
That's
a
one
unicorn
that you-
right there.
Yes, that's a unicorn.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it because back then everybody drove standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything that you got into was standard.
Right. Everyone knew how to now.
No.
If you,
That's an
you don't
anti-theft vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Now anti-theft device is a standard. Then you got an anti-theft.
So other than Kaylee, for my kids,
Yeah.
all had to learn on a stick.
Really?
Yes.
I tried to get my daughter. I can't drive a stick.
Kaylee can't, but Stephanie can, Michael, Colin, and when Noah gets old enough, Noah will be it.
I learned on a Chrysler Laser Turbo how to drive a stick in the 80s.
That was a neat little car.
Sure was.
Like
That
a
was,
2.2.
Yeah, 2.2 turbo. I think
Yes.
it was like it. That was quick.
It was. It was a good little
good
car.
time. Talk to you.
Yeah.
I think I always said that that engine oil pressure is critical. Engine damage may occur. I would hear that all the time. I still remember that because let's just say mine was the first year they came out, so there was some issues to it.
Yeah.
I sold it, so I ended up getting I got a Jeep. Is what I ended up doing.
There you go.
I ended up getting a Jeep for a while, so that was
I
my
learned,
first one.
I learned to drive standard on our 5 acres in Lake City
No
with
kidding.
a Datsun.
With the Datsun B12?
No, pickup.
Oh, the Datsun.
Pickup.
No kidding.
Yep. I buried it.
So I had.
Did you really?
I had a Datsun pickup truck.
Well, here's the thing.
I had a
Why-
1972 Datsun
Yep,
pickup
You
That's what
truck.
guys,
this
we're
one
gonna go.
was.
We're
This was
going
green.
off brand here. But why did they change Datsun to Nissan?
Got bought out. I
Got
thought.
bought
Was it
out.
bought out? Is that why
yeah,
would they
yeah.
want to change? I thought Datsun was like the
So,
so iconic.
In
back
the
then.
mid 70s, those little trucks with white spoke wheels were the bomb. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
they just took off.
Customize them.
They just, it was the new wave. It was,
Yeah.
and I had to have one.
And even
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now people are seeking them out.
Yeah.
Because they customize them and
Yes.
use them for truck shows and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
Fun times.
Yeah, those are good times growing up doing those.
3 on the tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's one thing I never did. I've never driven anything on the tree.
Really?
Never have. I like
So
to do that.
that
one day.
means it's on the steering.
Yes, it's on the
Yeah,
steering.
yeah.
No, but not everybody knows that. That's an old
Oh yeah,
term.
that's right. On the tree, it's on the steering wheel.
And a steering wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, on the
reverse,
column.
first, second, third. Folks don't know how to do it. Yep.
And so you're bouncing because that's what it took when you did that. That's what you're bouncing around in those leaf springs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh
are-
my
Just
God.
classic.
muscle memory right there.
Yes.
Fun
Instant.
times.
Now the transfer cases between the two, the CJ7 and the CJ5. Again, the CJ5, it was like Dana 18,
Then they went to
Dana
the Dana
20.
20.
Yeah.
so
Then-
from twigs to a thicker stick.
Basically, that's what it was.
Yes.
I mean, it's
But a lot-
we go back to the World War.
Yes.
That things were built disposable
Well, or rebuildable
or
too.
rebuildable
Both. Yes.
and thinner.
Yes.
Quicker.
Yes.
So on and so forth. So that's basically the thought process that they used, I would think.
And the original military one was so light, and that thing broke down. You see the videos.
Oh, yeah,
4
you see
minutes.
the
I
4 minutes.
posted a video. They put it together in 4 minutes. They break it down all the way down and put everything back on.
There isn't there a parade?
There's
where
the
they
Canadian-
do that?
Canadian parade
where they
for the
actually
military.
they're as they're going, they're
Yes.
putting the Jeep together. Is it
Yeah.
a Jeep they're putting
Yes,
together? I
yes.
think I
It's the
seem to
military
recall
Jeep.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Four
That
guys.
is just wild, man.
4 guys. They take the tires off and pull
And
it all apart.
I just remember Radar on MASH.
Oh, yeah.
He was he was sending parts of Jeep to
Yep.
to home to
Send it back to
Autumna, Iowa. Right, that's what he was
I
at.
mean,
I remember that.
So just think about technology and the way they built the Jeep, and it was, I mean, today's standards, we should be building all our vehicles like that.
Without a doubt.
Well,
You
but
know?
now,
yeah.
but now, with with anything, it's all built to be a lifespan of X amount.
Yes.
So we do it this way so that it will fail.
For parts and
But then,
To keep the businesses going, so you got to go
and
play
you-
another one.
yes.
And him, we all gather all this stuff up and we start building it. Just
Yes.
like most Jeepers, we're very self-sufficient when it comes to
Correct.
fixing things.
Yes.
You know?
Speak for yourself. I try to be at some point, but you break things too many times and you
Well,
start going.
there's things I won't attempt.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've learned.
You know how to do
or
front ends?
You've asked me this over and over again. I told you we'll do it.
Okay.
Get the parts.
Get the parts. Yeah, just like
But we learn as things go.
that. Parts. Get the parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part wizard. Where you at?
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, it's back then it was made to last, and now they do it for a company, basically.
Yes.
Got to keep a company going.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like computers when you buy a computer. It's never going to be the last one you ever buy because they become obsolete.
Yeah, it becomes obsolete as soon as you open the box.
Yep.
So.
The company would go out of business if they sold one computer that lasts a lifetime.
Then
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
No jobs, so on and so forth. So it's a round robin. The CJ7 used the Dana 300, which was much stronger and more advanced.
Sounds like it's great compared to
like
a Dana 35 or Dana 44.
Yeah.
But it not really. I mean, it was a 300, but it was still.
It was beefy.
Yeah.
Beefier, more than likely beefier gears. I didn't dig into each individual one.
Right.
But I'm sure it was stronger in the sense of the gearing because, once again, we start modifying things a little bit.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there you go. Production year, the CJ5 went from 54 to 1983. So 30 years.
Yeah, we talked about that a long time, man.
29, man.
Almost 30 and 10 years for the CJ7. So basically, in summary, the CJ7 was more practical.
Yes.
Very much so.
You know, as it's like every year. I mean, we compare the TJs that were great. I always loved those.
Yep.
And then you started going into the JK, and that was the soccer mom introduction to a Jeep.
Yes.
Pretty much, right? That's when they first
Yes.
got in, and a lot of
That
the
was-
mall
yes.
crawlers.
Yep.
And now it's really gone to the bouginess. Or it does, you know, you can go off-roading. They've done a little bit of both. They're
Yes.
kind of walking both sides if they want, right?
The TJ to me, especially the LJ,
Yeah.
is
The
probably
LJ.
is
yeah.
just their best vehicle.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, for off-roading and doing stuff and having space.
we
I
go.
know. I'm just telling you.
I'm right with you there, man.
you know,
and I was just saying this was saying this today to Mr. Freed over there next to you, your partner. That going on the marketplace, the Facebook marketplace. There are some TJs that are really sharp.
Oh, yes.
And they're affordable. I mean, when you talk about they're decent.
Yes.
They're under 10 grand.
Yep.
Some are around 5. You know, that are very decent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, you're not going to drive a TJ on a daily basis. It's really hard to do that.
My
now.
daughter does. What are you saying?
I know, but she said she's not taking it to college with her.
No, that's Collins in college. Kaylee works. She drives every day, but
And she's driving. Is it lifted?
Yes.
Is it?
2
She's
inch
driving
lift.
it?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Every day.
yeah,
Since
We'll see at 2 inches.
6,
It's
7 years.
moderate.
yes.
7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. All
But
right.
so my CJ7.
I guess you can. I guess I stand corrected.
Yes.
You can then.
It depends on what you like.
A lot of the TJs that are out there, I was showing one. There's one downstate is just so nice.
Yes,
it looks
it was.
really good. It's got a V8 small block in it. I mean, the seats are everything's new. It's clean as can be. $7,500,
That's a deal.
dude.
Exactly.
Tell me about
That's
it.
a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, again,
showed me that,
Facebook
I was like,
Marketplace.
I
Again,
might have to
we're jumping the gun. We're talking about CJs. You're going to be hard pressed to find a CJ that's in good shape like that for $7,500.
Oh, no.
No, those are going
CJs
15 to
they're
20
all-
grand,
well, some
and some higher. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
because they're collectible now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you stop and think about it, 1954 they were built,
Yep.
and up till 1986. So they're collectibles.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's my father-in-law. We bought that CJ. He was up there with it.
And
I mean, he bought. Yeah, it
He
was.
treats it like the baby, you know, and he keeps it perfect.
Yeah. No. All right, you think it's that time?
I think
I
it's
got one. Yeah,
You do?
we got-
Yeah, it's you,
it's
isn't
me.
it?
It's
It's
me.
you with your CJ.
It's yes.
Dun dun dun.
You ready?
Hey, you see that idiot?
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
What you think you're doing, you stupid idiot?
It's the Off-Road Toolbox Tool of the Day.
Are you some kind of moron?
All right.
So, growing up, we used to go to a beach house in the summertime, right?
Oh boy, bougie time.
It is. We're young kids.
Look at this.
We're
man.
young kids.
You have been entitled your whole life, have you not?
I've worked my whole life. I've worked since I had to
You
mow
just kind
lawns
of
and do everything.
right. So you've associated yourself with some very affluent.
My dad was a rocket scientist. Legitimate.
Really?
Yeah, my dad helped build the Mercury, Apollo, Gemini.
No kidding.
My
See,
dad was
I didn't even know that.
I did not know. We did not know that.
My
We
dad-
are now finding this out.
my dad was an engineer on those.
No kidding.
He helped build them
Well,
from the ground
okay,
up.
so that's where the brains come from over
Not
here.
me, no.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, look what we're doing here. You know everything there is about Jeeps and what goes into it. Don't sell yourself short. Now, let's find out what you were an idiot about.
So you got to remember. So we had a cottage in Rhode Island. It was on East Beach, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It was just a little summer place, and there's a group of us that were. And so the next door neighbor was a doctor, and the other one was a physicist, and the other one was another engineer. So all of us kids were always walking around. It was a small beach. There's only 10 houses on it, with the exception of the 11th house. It was owned by a senator from Rhode Island on this beach, and it was his weekend place. And I don't know if she was the caretaker, the maid, or whatever. She had a Jeep Wagoneer, and she had a CJ5.
Nice.
So, and she was an attractive girl. And again, we're just little kids. We're like 10 years, 12 years old, you know? And so we're always walking the beach. And you had to have 4-wheel drive to get down to where they were. We were the last, like I said, our first houses had the dirt road. So we came up with the idea we were going to limp and see if she would pick us up and give us a ride back just so we could talk to her. and she was driving the CJ5 and she saw us limping. She goes, "You guys okay?" I'm like, yeah, we stepped on a clamshell, you know, and it kind of hurts, you know, and hop in, you know. We're like, so, you know, Paul Terra-Savage, Mike Terra-Savage, Matthew Terra-Savage, and me, you know, we all
naming names over.
Oh yeah, they're great guys,
Yeah.
phenomenal guys to grow up with, you know. And so we pull up and then she drops us. She knew where we lived because it was one road, you know.
Right.
So my dad looks at me and he goes, "Think you're smart?" I'm like, "Dad, I love Jeeps. We gotta have one now, you know." So after that, so that was the whole thing. We faked injury just to get a ride with this girl in her CJ5.
And her CJ5.
It was
so, yeah. so you already figured CJ5, I'll get the chick.
That, you know, ever since then, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it kind of works.
It kind of does
works
work,
now.
you
I
know?
mean, you know, you get a Jeep, you get a real nice Jeep, you're driving up and down the beach.
I've had 4 of them.
You've had 4 of them.
I've had 4 Jeeps. Yep.
Well, yeah.
2 CJ7s and then the TJ and then the JK.
And you got the girl.
I didn't date her or anything. I was just
No, I'm talking about
my
now,
wife.
Your wife.
Oh, my
That's
wife
right,
is a
yeah.
big Jeep lover. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, she was the one that said, "You need to get a Jeep." So yeah.
I keep her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely a keeper.
Yes.
If you got someone that's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just good natured everything. Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Well, that's funny.
it's
So
funny,
you were the
funny.
tool because that
I
was
the tool 'cause
an
we came up-
adolescent tool.
We had to come
He
up
came-
with
he came up
something.
with the plan.
Come
He's
up
the
with the
tool.
plan. Yeah.
Wow.
You
All
know,
right.
and just to get a ride in the Jeep with a pretty girl.
And you did it. And you jumped off the Jeep like no problem with your foot. Like, forgetting about, oh, wait, I hurt my foot. Yeah, okay. Sure.
She knew better.
She knew better.
All right, everybody. Thank
All
you for
right, guys.
indulging
Thanks
us.
for tuning in. You know, catch us up on there, all the different platforms that are out there, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
And there you have it. Don't you feel smarter now? We'll drop more knowledge on you soon. Thanks for listening to the Off-Road Toolbox, powered by Best Price Trailers.